Right, all 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 right. Hey, ladies. Yeah. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Incredible greetings, everyone. Incredible greetings. Incredible greetings. Okay, let me. Whoa, whoa, sorry. So I'm coming over here to change the audience over here, and it's playing my other video. Alrighty, there we go. Let's share this out. Oh, wait. Okay, copy, share now. Share to a group. How is everyone doing? Let me make sure that we put our disclaimer, or not disclaimer, disclosure. Come on now. There we go. Uh-oh. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. Thank you to everyone that's in the room. Thank you for coming in and double tapping the screen. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. Appreciate it. That helps. Thank you. Oh, we are already at 2 shares over on TikTok. Thank you guys so very much for that as well. Even if you were to just share and copy the link, that makes a difference. So thank you guys so much for coming in and engaging as soon as you come into the room. It is greatly, 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 greatly appreciated, guys. So today is Tuesday. I'm gonna drop a few of my I say favorite tips because I think everything about Silhouette Studio is absolutely like amazing. Okay. But some important tips or things that I just, deem to be important when it comes to Silhouette Studio. These are also a few questions that I have gotten or I've had to answer over the past few days. So we're going to address those things. All right. So hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Welcome in. Welcome in. I am Incredible. So if you guys can just help the algorithm out, drop a comment, like the video, hit share, copy the link. All of those things help. I'm going to be dropping some tips today. I'm going to call this Tip Tuesday. And of course on Silhouette Studio. Silhouette Studio is my program of choice. I absolutely love this software. This is not a sponsored video, okay? I am not affiliated with Silhouette America in any way, shape, or form. Is it choppy for you guys? I don't understand. I mean, it's raining here, but it's like, it's not my internet. It's StreamYard. It's like dropping it, saying that it's unstable, but that's definitely a StreamYard thing because my bars on my computer, my internet is completely high. So I'm guessing right now a lot of people must be on StreamYard because it's saying that my connection is unstable. So that must be a them thing. I gotta figure out something when it comes to that whenever StreamYard is doing that. But anywho. All right. So as I was saying, I utilize Silhouette Studio for just about everything. I started using it originally for my event business and making 3D models of things, doing print and cuts for centerpieces, cutouts for candy tables, whether it was a 12-inch all the way up to 2 feet. I've even done them as tall as 3 feet and 42 inches wide. So I have utilized this software for so many things. I use it as a way to create. I've used it as a way to create templates where I will cut those templates out from my Cameo machines or simply print them out, cut them, and I will use it for cardboard or for foam board, making my piñatas. Oh God, I can't, I mean, it's just so many things that I have created with the help of this program. Being able to create invitations, menus, signs, posters. It's opened up so much for me. I was doing a lot of these things before in other programs, but the interface of Silhouette Studio and being able to, cut to a machine. So for me, originally it was the cut aspect. I used to cut everything by hand, everything by hand. I am a whiz with scissors and a blade. Okay. I am a whiz with that. Silhouette Studio just made it easier where I can create the things, and having their print and cut that doesn't limit you in size made my life so much easier. Back in the day, there was no Cricut print and cut. That came later. So this was the premier system to get into when you wanted to do print and cuts. It is the originator of this. Okay. Outside of, actually, Eclipse may have been doing that also. I'm not sure. I know they had the Brother Scan and Cut, but it's more like Scan. Like from what I knew it was between Eclipse and this one. Brother Scan and Cut came later for me as far as getting information on that. But Silhouette Studio just was what was there for, for that purpose. Although I got the system mainly for print and cut to cut out letters. I used to make these blocks, these baby blocks for baby showers out of foam board, and to be able to put the letters and things on there to make it look like a real block. I was cutting them from cardstock instead of cutting them from paper. I would print it out so that it was a specific color. It looked like, so, I was just doing everything with it. I quickly realized how much design you can do in it. Because a lot of times I would design in other programs and then bring it into Silhouette Studio. But I quickly learned that you can actually create these things right in this system, and I don't have to do, go into, too many other programs. Although I still use them. Photoshop is still, that's one of my, favorite programs, ever. That, Illustrator is like, I've learned to love Silhouette Studio more than I do Illustrator for those really just fundamental things. And once I saw just how great it was, I was just organically and just naturally showing the things. There were a lot of written blogs that was showing Silhouette, but no one that was really doing a lot of visual and videos on the system. I did that, and my platform just organically grew, and it turned into me teaching this more and more and more. I can say confidently, no one knows this program like me. Not even the people whose name is on it, because I use it in so many ways. They do a lot of videos to show you how to use the program with their machine with the intent to do something in connection with their machine, which is, hey, what they're supposed to do, right? Because they're offering this magnificent program for free. Anybody can get this program, anybody. So, of course, all the things that you will see that they will do videos on, it's more like, yeah, they're going to teach you creative design, but it's for print, not just to print it, but for print and cut. They're going to show you different things that you can cut paper, that you can cut vinyl. It's connected to the machine, whether it's the Cameo or the Portrait, or how to create so that you can use it with the Alpha machine when it came to like their 3D machine, or the Mint machine. But like I said, I have combined my graphic designing background to make this program do some amazing things. And I have been sharing that for 9 years, showing others how this program can work for you as well, as long as you put in the work to really learn it. As long as you put in the reps to really learn it, you can do a lot. Some people say, oh, it's not user-friendly. It's not that it's not user-friendly. It can do more than your basic program that's just meant to plug and play. It's meant to be a design program for you to be able to set your designs up and customize them, change your edit points, change fonts, move things around. That's the beauty of it. Now, if you wanted to use it just like you would with some of the other ones and just kind of bring in SVGs and resize it, that's something that's really easy to do. But if you want to get into design, let's say you have Photoshop, your money's good right now, you can afford to pay $9.99, or is it $9.99 or just $9 a month? So anywhere between $9 and $10, you can afford to pay that every single month for Photoshop. Right now, you can afford to pay $12 a month for Canva. We know that in this economy, times can get kind of rough, right? So what happens when you can't afford to pay $9.99 a month for Photoshop? What happens when you can't afford to pay $12 a month for Canva? Right? Is your business, if you started a business and now it's like, yeah, you're making money, but every penny goes back to not into your business, but you need it to live, right? A lot of business gurus will teach you that when you're in business, you're making money, invest the money back in your business, but that's not the case for a lot of people. For a lot of you guys, you're getting into this. You took a chance on getting a sublimation printer, getting a printer for print and cuts, getting a printer to make stickers, getting a program so that you can make ends meet. That is the nature of our society right now, is you need a little something to make ends meet. And you may not have, other than what's for an order, you may not have that extra. This program allows you to still create without missing a beat, as long as you take the time. When you have the money, invest in education to learn it, or make sure that you are investing in time and you're really taking notes. This week, I have answered way too many basic questions, which is something that you should have, most people should look at in the beginning of learning a program. So that's what I'm going to go through today, is some of those really basic need to know things that I've been getting questions about. And if you have questions about using Silhouette Studio, about designing, if you have a tip that you would like for me to show, please put that in the comments, okay? Someone says YouTube has a lot of great free basic knowledge also. I am the YouTube. I have 10 years of videos on there, but some people don't know the proper terminology. They don't know the things to search. What some people consider to be basic, a lot of times they consider it to be basic because they've already gotten some of that knowledge. But for people who are brand spanking new, there aren't too many videos that starts from the beginning that says, this is how you start a file. This is how you start text. This is how you space text. This is how you change a font. This is how you turn line color off. Someone asked me this week about how do I stop a color from printing? How do I stop the line colors from? I said, turn the line color off. How do you do that? So there's a lot of what is really truly basic information that you don't see on these videos, or the mouse is moving so fast that you really sometimes don't even know where to stop and pause at to really understand what they're doing. So I like to do things like this video where I can slow it down for you, and we're going to go tip for tip, and you're going to understand that specific thing. But I am the YouTube. I've been doing it for 10 years. And even with that, I know that I've done videos where someone will say a basic invitation. Can you follow that video and make an invitation and mimic that? Yes. But the moment you now go to do it yourself, because you do not understand the program, it becomes an issue for you. And I have people that become frustrated and they end up inboxing me. And it creates questions for content like this, where I'm going over basic information. I love it. I've done keychain, I've done shirts, keychains, and still learning other functions that have been helpful. I still recommend that you join my program, Steve. I promise you, there's people that was using it longer than me. They came into my program and said, I have been using this for 12 years. And you have shown me some things that I have never seen in a YouTube video. And they have been using it longer than me. What version am I using? So when it comes to the versions, there's editions and then there's versions, okay? I am using the business edition. It is the highest version, but I am using that because I have 7 cameos. It was always 6. I just got a new one. I just got a new cameo last week. So I have business edition because of that, all right? Business edition is the highest version, for highest edition. It unlocks all of the tools. You get access to things like your center of rotation, your crosshairs, being able to open up files from professional programs like AI files, EPS files. SVG is really a crafter file type. When you have creators that are making vector files, unless they've been introduced to the craft world, they're not really saving as an SVG. You will find that the files are EPS files. You will find Illustrator files. When it's saved as an Illustrator file, that is the equivalent of, kind of sort of like the equivalent of an SVG, because it is still technically in its vector mode, although in an Illustrator file, you can bring in a bitmap or rasterized image, i.e. a JPEG or PNG, save that as an Illustrator file. So Illustrator doesn't always, give you a vector, but if they were designing something vector, that Illustrator file, you would be able to open that up. All of your cut lines would be there. You will be able to ungroup it, click on a layer, click on an element, change the colors. And when it's saved in an EPS, EPS does allow you to kind of save like some gradients and things like that. And it can open up kind of funky in Silhouette Studio. But SVG is like the simplest form. If you were to have a bitmap image in an SVG file, when you open it up in a different program, it's just going to show black. So Business Edition allows you to open up every single file type, PDFs, SVGs, EPSs, embroidery files, all of those things. It also allows you to save in different file formats. You can save as a JPEG. You can save as a PNG. You can save as a PDF. Save as that's a SVG, and then as a Silhouette file. So you have like those perks, the multiple undos. If you are someone that's into rhinestones, there's a rhinestone creation tool in all of the upgraded versions, but in Business, it just has everything. Designer Edition gives you what you would think is like a standard feature, a ruler. You don't get a ruler in the free version. You have to have Designer for that. You have layers, you have warping. So there's different things in each edition, from basic, standard, all the way up to business. Now, as far as the version, you have everything from, I've had this system from 1.9. I am currently on this system running 4.5. It's not the latest version of 4.5. I can go in and look. So I am currently using version 4.5.778. But I'm not going to encourage you to get that version because your system may not be able to handle that version. If I had to recommend a version to start with, you can especially if you do not have any machines, if you want to learn this program simply as a design or editing software, the version that I would recommend, here's the first tip, 4.3.370. 4.3.370. That is the version that I recommend that you download. And if you have a Windows PC, you are going to download the 32-bit version. It does not matter if your system says it is 64-bit. You want to download the 32-bit version, okay? That's going to be my recommendation. Now, if you are going to purchase a Silhouette machine, if you have a Cameo 4, you can still like a 4 12-inch or it's 4 Plus, which is the 15-inch, you can still use this version. If you happen to buy from someone, which I don't recommend, I do not recommend the Pro, but if you happen to want to still, against, my advice, purchase a Cameo 4 Pro, which is a 24-inch, you have to go up to one of the 4.4 versions. If you were to buy a brand new one, their new model is the Cameo 5 or the Portrait 4 or the Curio 2. If you want to get any of those, you have to have version 4.5, which means your system has to have enough RAM, like your graphics card has to be on point, and you have to have enough memory. I mean, hey, if it's what you can afford and you got like one of those computers from Walmart or off the shelf or, off the shelves at Best Buy, those are normally not great for these types of applications. They're great for things like Word, browsing the internet, typing up documents, printing them out, but not to really work with graphics with those types of computers, whether it's a desktop or a laptop. If anything, if you're looking for a system, you want to get a gaming system and one that works well with VR, virtual reality. That's going to be the best system to get. Okay. Let's see. All right, over here, you are absolutely right, because I really have tried, but I can't figure it out still. I need to take time daily. You can take time daily or you can get guided help. You can take time daily, but if you still don't know what it is that you're looking for or what it is that you need to do, if you're messing around with it and you easily get frustrated, the best thing that for you to do, one of the best investments that you're going to make is going to be getting into a great class. With this particular live, there is a coupon code, Tip Tuesday. You will get it's not even a 30-day training. It's a full-on program where we are helping you weekly to understand this program and to learn it and master it. Even after our review, we're going to have regular study hall sessions. You're going to get the 30 days, you're going to get the 13-week refresher and the 10-week review sessions. And the link is in the description. Tip Tuesdays, you will get 50% off of the cost of that. We also offer Tip Tuesday, not S. Tip Tuesday. My bad. I think I may have put an S on it, but you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm going to duplicate and I'm going to make it tip. I'm gonna just put Tip Tuesdays and put an S on the end. That way, no matter how somebody puts it in, it will still come up, because I think I may have made a mistake and put S in the chat. In the description. I was one using it for many years and didn't know hardly none of the stuff that I learned from you. Now that Now that embroidery file was a surprise to me. Didn't know that until you mentioned it. Yes, you can open up. So I'll show you. If I go File, Open, we're going to come to All Files. So once you're in here and you look at All Files, so I guess we can consider this to be tip number 2, right? So with the business edition, I can open up Silhouette 3 files, Silhouette version 2 files. I can open up Corel Draw files, DTS files, EXP files, JEF files, PES, which is brother, XXX files. GSD is a different, like that's Silhouette Studio. Windows meta files, enhanced meta files. A lot of times when you go on these websites and it has like these weird, like you go to save it, doesn't say JPEG, doesn't say PNG, like you can open those up in Silhouette Studio. That's kind of what these fall under. DXF files, encapsulated PostScript files, Adobe Illustrator files, PDF files, SVGs, PNGs, JPEGs, bitmap files, GIF files, TIFF files, and picture files. So a lot of those web type files will fall under picture files, and you can open up all of those. Silhouette Studio allows you to open up a lot of file types. If I cancel this and I switch this to Designer Edition, let's just go to Designer Edition, and then I go File, Open. File, Open. And we come over here to All Files. That list got significantly smaller. Significantly smaller. So you can always go click on All Files and it will tell you your current version, what all files it will open up. So if we go down to Standard, and we're going to come to Open, All Files. See, now we lose those Windows meta files and things like that. All you can open up is graphic files, standard, Silhouette files, GSD files, DXF files, PNG, JPEG, bitmap, GIF, TIFF, and picture files. So each version unlocks a different type of file type that you can open. And that's a big one where people don't realize, especially Cricut users coming over, they have all of these SVG files and don't realize that they cannot open it unless they have Designer Edition or higher. What is the thickest that you can cut with your Silhouette? I don't remember the exact depth. You can cut quite deep, but it's not like you're going to cut deep with one run. There are deep cut blades. I want to say it's 10 mm. But you have, because I think that's how the blade goes, but you have deep cut blades, and what you will end up doing is cutting through it several times. So you'll have to cut, kind of scratch, and I call it score the surface level. And then you're going to keep adjusting your pressure, keep adjusting your blade to go deeper and deeper and deeper. I've cut through the little craft foam, but it took several runs. I've cut through a chipboard. It took several runs. I've cut through magnet sheets. It just took a lot of runs to get through it. She says, yep, I have no idea what I'm doing. Even watching videos, I'm going to sign up. And what we teach you is from the beginning. Like, we go over every tool and function so that you have a working knowledge of these tools and functions. And then we introduce designs to you so that it makes sense. Uh-oh. Thank you so much for the follow. Incredible evening. Somebody's comment was filtered out. So if you made a comment after City Girl Country World and before Nelly's FYP, your comment was filtered out. If you can go ahead and retype that, that would be great. Okay, so we're here, right? So I wrote this out. When someone, if you ask the question in a group and they instruct you to remove the line color, right now, this shows a red outline. When there is no color here, You need an outline to know what's there. If I were to take this line color off, it looks like nothing is here, but there is something there. If I were to select this and something else and I were to do subtract, it would take away. So let me see. I can even do it like this. We're going to go like that. If I go subtract, I lose what's here. And there are boxes there because it still exists, right? It's just that we don't see it because there's no line color, no fill color. Line color can be there just to be able to see what's there, but there's also an option to cut by line color. There are times where I don't want it to print, right? I don't want color filled in. I want my system to maybe cut something really deep, and I want it to cut another area not so deep to just kind of score. Or maybe I want it to cut it as a perforated line and not go too deep. I want to have different settings. Silhouette Studio will allow you to have those different settings all at one time, because you can cut by color, you can cut by line color, you can cut by fill color. If you have Design Edition or above, you can cut by layers. A lot of people don't realize that those are even options under the Send panel. So when you go to Send at the top, Simple will cut everything that is on that page, unless you tell it to go, like, unless you say no cut, cut, or cut edge. Everything on that page is fair game. But there's also an option right next to that where you can choose the line color, and you can click on here and choose different settings to cut that by. And then if there's a different line color, so let's come back over here. Let's make this one just any color, and we're going to go back to Send. All right, so now I have two. I can have this one set to cut all the way through. You know, of course, I'm not going to go through settings. I could have had this one set to cut very, very light. I don't have to tell the system anything. It's going to adjust the speed, the pressure, as long as I have adjusted it in those settings, and it will automatically cut those things. If I had my glitter cardstock to cut 3 times, but then this one was set to cut once, it would follow what it is for that color. Then you have it by fill. Although there's different line colors, the fill color is the same. So I only have one option there. And I would have to select that to tell it to cut all those, and there it shows red. If you were doing layers, you can do it by layers. Most people don't realize that that is an option. That is truly what your line color is for when there's no color. Now, I did, like earlier, I was showing, wrong thing. I was showing this because I was like, I'm going to redo this because this is a basic version. Here is a more detailed version. This is all film. But on this one, the white outline on this is a line color where there is an increase. I made the line color thicker. I did not have it in front. I pushed it behind the main letters because there is an option for it to be in the front. There's an option for it to be in the back. And then I reduced the transparency, so it gave it this bubble look. So there are times where you want to utilize your line colors as a part of your design. But if it's there just to be an indicator of where something is. So one of the someone that I was kind of helping, they were doing a notebook, right? So let's just say I'm going to have a notebook. I don't even know how many of these should be here. I'm just going to do a bunch of them.
I can't wait where
No, you cannot. You can watch what I put on there. That's it.
Not play.
Okay, that's too many holes, but you get the idea, right? So let's say you were setting up your notebook cover, you have your background or you have your picture filled in. If you save this as a JPEG, even though there is no thickness, it will save with those red lines. If you save it as a PDF, it will save with those red lines. Recently had someone who was doing DTF. They had the line color on there. They watched the video, right? So they watched the video on YouTube. Everyone says to go to YouTube. They watched the video. They followed it to a T, right? The person that was designing, they didn't have line color. They already had that set up. Or maybe they just had an image they were already working on. Well, this person goes, they're bringing this in. They have text that they're creating. They're bringing in images and things like that. They followed it. They did the trace and detach. They saved it. They set up their gang sheet. You know what they did? What was not mentioned, because you guys, your attention span is too small. If somebody went through step by step, as much as you guys say that you want step by step, if someone truly went step by step and explained everything that they are doing and why they are doing it, you would not watch it. I've had people tell me, oh, I went to one of your videos. It said an hour. It said 45 minutes. I said, oh, no, thank you. I went and looked for a different video, but then they're in my inbox. No, go back and watch that video. There's a reason why it's 45 minutes, right? So they went through the whole thing. They sent their DTF prints off. They got it back. And you know what was there? A big freaking red line, because it saved when you saved it as a PDF. So that is a time where you need to turn it off. Now, so when we talk about printing, DTF is printing, but you're not printing DTF right from Silhouette Studio. You have to save it first. So whenever you save it, that red line is going to be there, even if there is no weight. But if I were to send this to my printer directly from Silhouette Studio, guess what? Those line colors will not print, because up here it says 0. Now, if I were to put any type of weight, anything higher than 0, even if it is 0.1, if it's 0.01, guess what? That colored line will print. So here is the next tip. You can write it in the chat. As long as you are printing directly from Silhouette Studio, your line colors can be on. As long as, here's the tip for it, the weight is set to 0. You can print if it's set to 0. If you are going to save this, you cannot have those colors on it. You may want to make that area white, or you may want to, even if you want it to be the same color, you may want to, well, not say the same color. You will definitely need to make it a slightly different color. So let's make it like here. And then you can always take that transparency down so that you can kind of sort of faintly see it. But anything that's color, and if it cuts off, you're going to see that. Okay. So how you turn it off. This is a question, another question. I promise you, no lie. I have gotten this question 3 times and we're only on Tuesday. Literally had it in my inbox, on our chat, or in a group. Now they ask a question, I say, turn the line color off. What is that? How do I do that? It's the first option. Those gray lines in that white box, that means no color. First box next to your color palette is no color. That is how you turn it off. All right. Haha. I get it. That's why my gang sheet that I sent to Jiffy Shirts for DTF prints had the red lines. Absolutely. That is why. Now that you know, you'll never have that issue again. But I want to ask you a question, Deandra. Did you watch a YouTube video on how to set it up and use Silhouette Studio? Did you watch a YouTube video? Because everyone says, go to YouTube. Don't pay for a class. Don't do those things, right? Go to YouTube. Did you watch a YouTube video to help you get to that point to submit it? She says, yep, but it's those things where when I've had classes, these are things that I go over. I teach these things from the beginning. Okay. It doesn't matter, even if you save them as a PNG. So saving it as a PNG is just saving the file type. If you save something as a PNG and those line colors are there, it's still going to print. She did that part. I don't even recommend saving as a PNG for DTF. I save mine as you can save as a PNG, but I normally save as a PDF, and then I just kind of convert that PDF because it comes out a little bit clearer. But it doesn't matter the file type. Anytime you are taking it out of Silhouette Studio, if you do not turn that line color off, it is going to save even if the weight is 0. Okay. She says, I wasted so much money resaving and resending. And a lot of the times a class can help you. So a class will never be a waste of money. But having to redo it, resave it, and resend it, and finding that information, now that can be a waste because now you have to pay for the prints again. You're now delayed. You have to pay for the shipping again, possibly shipping, but if you didn't qualify for free shipping. But the same amount of money that you spent on that order, you probably could have taken a class that would have eliminated that issue for you. We try to keep our classes very, very affordable. Especially if you got in on the ground floor when that program first launched. Some people got that program as low as $50. I literally sent the gang sheet 6 different times as different file extensions, not knowing that that was the one issue. We had a whole class about DTF too. I always went to the panel in the line style. So you can go. So it doesn't matter where you are, even on this side of the screen, your no color is always going to be that first option before white. So under the fill, under the line tool, it's still the first one. On this side, under the fill, under the line, under line color, it's the first option. Even if you were to go to gradient, the very first option is still no color. If you were to go to pattern fill, the very first option is no color. No matter which color option you go to, that first one is no color. What if you don't need to start at the beginning? That means that you should know it. That means you should know. That means you shouldn't. I can't tell you what is considered beginning because for a lot of people, they think I know designing, but they don't know these little innuendos of Silhouette Studio. You need to start at the beginning. There's some people, like I said, they had said they've been using it for 12 years. They did not know some of the things that I showed them in the 30-day training. It's never a bad thing to start from the beginning because so many people skip to the middle that they miss so much important information. It's never a bad thing to start from the beginning. I don't care how long you've been creative. If you've never started from the beginning of Silhouette Studio where you know all of these little innuendos, you need to go back to the beginning. All right. So my next tip, based off of questions that I get all the time. Cool. Thanks. When I go to the panel at the top, then line style, it makes the red, it takes the red line out, but it keeps all of the colors because those are 2 different settings. Line color is one setting. Fill color is another setting. For fill color, you can do a solid color, a gradient, or even a pattern. So those are 2 different settings. Okay. All right. Another question that I get all too often, okay, is sizing. When they bring in an image, why is my design the wrong size? I made it 10 inches. I made it 5 inches. I made it whatever. Why is it the wrong size? Okay. I don't think any of these are actually PNGs. There's a PNG. Perfect. There we go. This is a party request that I got recently. Most people, when they are designing, right, especially newbies, they think that, wow, I put this together. I was able to save it. I'm the bomb.com. I got this. And they're missing fundamental knowledge and things that you should do if you are going to sell a file, especially if you're using programs like Photoshop. And that is to eliminate the transparent pixels. So people think, like, when it's here, oh, wow, I see the extra white, right? But when it comes to a PNG, it's like, oh, well, it's a PNG. There's nothing there. It's transparent. I see the edge of the pink on one side, the edge of the pink on the other. I want this to be 10 inches. They're going to go and they're going to size this up to 10 inches. They are going to print it out for sublimation, or they're going to print it out for a print and cut. You're going to print it out for Jet Pro 3G to put on a shirt. And guess what? That sucker's going to be too small because it's not 10 inches. Why? You watched that video that told you, oh, it's a PNG. You're just going to size it and you're going to print it. You didn't bother to watch the video that talks about tracing, or that broke down the knowledge that there is negative space. Some of you guys don't know terminology like that. Negative space. So whoever designed this, they set their design page up for whatever size. It was a rectangle. This design, they put it in there, but they never removed the transparent pixels so that when it opens up, it is edge to edge, top to top, top to bottom. And when you resize it, that will be the exact size. So I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate of this. And I'm going to select trace area, place my box around it. We're going to increase the threshold. Another tip. Every time someone talks to me about trace and detach, or like we're in class and they're doing it, they think that they have to fill the entire thing in. This is why you end up with jagged edges. This is why you end up with extra white when you do a print and cut, because you're taking that trace too far. It's picking up outside pixels. This is as far as I need to go. You watch videos, they immediately take their threshold all the way up, all the way to 100. You don't have to. There is a perfect level when you're doing trace. We teach that in our class. So we're going to go trace and detach. And the debate's about to start, so I'm about to get ready to get up out of here. All right. I'm going to click on this outside box. I'm going to move it off to the side. If I now put my box around this, I'm going to group it together. This is only 9.115 when this box was 10. I did not change anything. So now we're talking nearly an inch smaller. That makes a big difference in the look of something. There, between the extra space on the top and bottom, there was an inch of space. No, it has nothing to do with the DPI. Nothing to do with the DPI. It has everything to do with the size of the canvas or the design page when it was made. Now, if they happen to do that based off of certain pixels, which is PPI, which is kind of like the resolution, that's one where I go into detail about that. I break down when it's like, depending on what your resolution is, how many pixels, and when you have that number. But at the end of the day, it's still about what's that size in inches and centimeters. How big is that box, and not removing negative pixels. But there's extra space on the top and bottom. So let's say we wanted it to be 10 inches wide. Okay, well, right now, this is 13 inches. So let's say, hey, I want to maximize this, whatever. I want it to be 13. I got 13 by 19. I want it to be 13 inches. At 13 inches, that's what this top one says, 13 inches. So you're going to size it thinking you're getting 13 inches wide because you're about to do a 2X shirt. You were going to put this on your 13 by 19 or your 11 by 17 paper. You were going to rotate it and you had 13 inches, right? That's what you thought. The actual width of this is 11.4. That's almost 2 inches, 2-inch difference. This is why when you guys go and say, it's not printing the right size, you did not set the file up properly. You did not you did not trace it. Now, if you don't want to trace it, you can get this to the exact size that you want, but that means that you're going to need to create a box, the exact size that you want it to be, and then you're going to have to size it to fit either top side to side or top to bottom in that box for it to be that height or that width. That is another one of the number one questions. Oh, I sized it up. I put in 10 inches. It's coming out too small. Did you trace and detach? What's that? So we don't even know the fundamentals and the basic things to do in this program. This is why proper training is so important. Taking the right classes is so important. Having the right instructor who can break it down for you for what you're trying to do is so important. You can make a lot more money than you are now if you knew the proper way to size it. I have a client right now, somebody that came to me. Somebody is now losing their order. She was like, hey, it's cool. I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to pay, but stop right there. I don't want that. That is not the look that I was going for because they don't have proper knowledge. You could be losing out on money. Your business might not be growing. You might not be getting as many orders, not because you're not a creative person. You're a very crafty person, but you don't know how to properly set up a file. It's too much back and forth. You guys get upset. You do all this work and they come back and say, no, this is too small. It's this, it's that, because you never took the time to learn how to fully design. You don't know how to really meet their needs because you did not learn your program. You didn't learn the fundamentals of not just a program, but of graphic designing. Those are two different things. Learning a program does not make it to where you know how to design. And you might be losing out on money. And then you think, okay, I want to sell files. But if you don't want to deal, crafters are the worst. When they spend their little $3, their little $5, and this file is not set up, they'll bash you. They're going to hound you more than somebody for a shirt over that file that you did not bother to set up properly. You said it was made for this, but your sizing is off. And then we get stuff like, oh, well, it worked for mine. I sized it for me. I did this. That's your problem. And then now there's this whole craft drama because you were taught, oh, well, sell to other crafters, but you don't know how to properly size. You don't know how to trace. You don't know that when you save that file and you sent it to them and they now print it out, it's printing with the red line. And you're, in your mind, you're like, well, when I print it from Silhouette Studio, I don't get no red line. It don't print for me. But now you saved it. It is going to print for them. And you want to blame the customer, but you are the person that is wrong. You jumped from doing the thing to now selling digital files, but you didn't even know everything that you needed to know to sell digital files. All right. So tracing is the next thing to get the proper size that I see a lot of issues with. Okay. Anybody have anything that, like, any tips, like for them, something that you're struggling with, something that you would like a tip on? the debate's about to start, so I got to go, but I'm going to give you guys opportunity to let me know a tip that you need, like something that you need answered, something that you have struggled with. I have a question. Did you ever post that in a group to ask someone why that was happening? Did you ever reach out for some sort of assistance from anybody? These are the videos I usually watch, but my pain makes me go crazy, so I can't focus most of the time. I am so sorry that you are dealing with some sort of chronic pain. She was like, but I've never paid attention like I am right now on any video. I think that's a great I think that's a good testament to, you know, how I'm breaking this down. So I thank you for that. Hello. All right. So we just want my tips. No one has any inquiries of their own. Okay. The next thing that I see so many people have issues with is color. Color. The color isn't coming out the same way that it shows on my computer. If you're doing sublimation and you have a converted printer, that in and of itself will give you colors that's going to be a little bit off. You can't really control that. But if you are filling things in yourself with color, you must learn how to use your hex codes or your color codes. I recommend that you go, and whether you purchase ours or you go scouring the internet for your own version that has a good, you know, color chart that has the hex codes on it or RGB values, that you get that, you print it out on whatever printer you use, whatever media. You will find that colors look different on a glossy versus a matte paper, on a glitter paper, sublimation, eco solvent, latex, DTF. They will look different than how it looks on your screen. So my last tip for you guys is, if you are designing, you are filling in the colors, use a color chart. And once you select that object, that those letters, that font, those words, you're going to go to your fill pattern, not the one over here. If you're used to using the one on this side, we don't use this one because you can't change hex codes. Okay? You have to use the color on this side. And once you're here, you're going to come to the hex code and you're going to type it in. Never, here's like another tip as it relates to color. If you are going to print something out, never, ever, ever use these top colors. They are not going to give you the color that you think, other than black or white, especially that gray. It's not going to give you the right color. So never. Now, if you want to use these to identify colors of vinyl, colors of paper, fine. But never use those top colors. You can create your own color charts. So once you put in your hex code, you can save them to the color charts and be able to utilize that. You can even name your color charts. And when you hover over the side, it will tell you what the name of that color chart is. But you want to print out a color chart. If you're doing sublimation, you want to print it out and you want to sublimate it to something. And you want to look at that hex code and you want to put that in right here. It might look different on your screen. It may not look like the right color on your screen. But as long as you have printed it out and you've subbed it, or you've printed out on your pigment ink printer onto glossy paper, you've printed it out onto your matte paper from your pigment ink printer, you've printed out on your dye-based printer, you've printed out on your white toner printer, you've printed out on your DTG printer, your DTF printer, whatever it is. Even if, like, I recommend, I have done it. I've sent mine to 3 different DTF companies. I sent my color chart. I paid for that, whatever. I set it up for a yard or whatever. That was the best $25 I could spend, because I'm not going to be surprised when I get that, because what most of you guys understand, you design here in RGB. When you send it to someone that does DTF, they convert it to CMYK. Certain colors don't pick up in the CMYK ranges, in that color gamut. So your colors are going to be off. But if you send your color chart to them and have them print it out, you are going to see the ranges in which they can print in. And you can select colors based off of that. Okay. Make an image quality good from a big print into a small print, 2 inches for pens. Make an image quality good. Now, I've never had an issue going from a large print to a small print. So I'm not sure why you'll be having issues on that. That's like taking this one. You should be able to take that all the way down. And the quality should not be affected. Now, going from small to large is one thing, but to go from a good quality image and make it smaller, it should not be an issue. Now, if it is bad quality at a bit, as a bigger image, making it smaller doesn't improve the quality. So on that one, I'm not sure what is you're trying to do, but you should not be experiencing an issue going from 11 inches to 1 inch or 2 inches. Now, if you're trying to go from 1 inch to 11 inch, yes, you're going to have a problem there. And there is no way, contrary to what anyone will tell you. And that whole image enhancer in Canva, that does not work. I'm not sure what kind of quality y'all think that you're getting, but that does not enhance anybody's quality. It really doesn't. Yes, Belinda. Did you post a question? I don't see it unless like it was one of the ones that was filtered out. I see you tag me, but was there a question with the tag? Because there's no question with it. And hello, thank you guys for the follow. Do I do rhinestones in the studio? It's not one of my main things that I do, but I do teach it. I have done rhinestones in Silhouette Studio. Yes, I have. But it's not something that I do a lot of. It's not a main thing for me. I'm just not a big blinger. But if you have a question, I'll be more than happy to answer your question. I know everything about this system. There's no question that you can think of that I would not be able to answer if there's an answer to it. No, Belinda tagged me. When I print, it doesn't look good. Big print looks good. Was it a JPEG? You didn't do any, like, you're on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, but if you're on Facebook, if you can go into my group and then post a picture so that I can see what's happening, I can probably give you better direction, because it might be something else is like on that image. So if you are on Facebook, our Facebook group, our free Facebook group is Silaholics Anonymous, or you can go to our Honestly Speaking SPINKING group, and you can go into that group and show me like how it prints big and then versus how it prints small. It could be the paper that you are printing on. Try printing that same small image on a different paper and see. So the smaller something is, so that's actually a really good one. Thank you so much for this. So here's gonna be another tip, right? It's a bonus one. Most people don't realize that paper makes a really big difference. So when you have a larger image and your ink is spread out, it's not as tight when it comes to where those droplets. The more colors you have trying to put them in a small area, the worse it's going to look. It's not going to be as great because you're trying to put too many colors, and not every printer has small droplets and their resolution. So this is going to be based off of your printer as well, right? So I have detailed conversation, like lives about printers and about resolutions. I geek out about printers. Y'all don't want to hear that. It's too long. I can't sit through it, but it's so much good information. I never do, if I'm doing a long video, it's because there's some great information in it. Unless it's like a Q&A, and then it's kind of like just a waste of time. But if I'm ever doing a class, I'm doing an actual teaching and it's long, know that almost every bit of information you're going to need is probably going to be within that video. But with a printer, the resolution of that printer makes it to where if the resolution is not that great when it comes to being smaller, the definition is not going to be there. So it's going to look a little pixelated or a little blurry. Especially if you're using a paper that is not a smooth paper. It's very porous. It's a cheaper paper. And now that you're putting liquid ink down, it's spreading on there because it's trying to put too much ink in one spot. So the ink is going to spread. But now if you do that same thing on a quality paper, it might look a little bit better because the ink isn't going to spread as much. You make it a little bit bigger where now the colors have more space to actually print into. It's going to look a little bit better. But your paper definitely will play a factor, but how small it prints and your printer will then play a factor in that. Like I love Workforce printers because the resolution is amazing and the droplet size is so small that it can capture small details. All right. Now, if you guys enjoyed this, I do hope that you have, if you're watching over on YouTube, you have given us a subscribe. You have liked this video. You can still share it out from YouTube if you're watching over from Facebook. Hopefully you have, followed us. You can join our groups, tag a friend, at least give the video a like, guys. I dropped a lot of great information on you. I don't ask for payment. I don't drop my Cash App on these. I mean, I could like everybody else. I don't drop my Cash App. I ask for digital currency, likes, comments, shares. That's it. If you were sitting here for an hour, it doesn't take anything extra to like the video, to say thank you. That thank you counts as engagement. That helps my platform. I can do the rest. I can I can, if I put out content and people are watching it, I'm able to make money from it. But we also have paid classes. We also have the best sublimation paper on the market. Our paper allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. Where is it? There we go. We're going to come here and go to our website. Right now, our paper, all paper is $10 off until the, because we extended it because of the number 4. So all of our paper is $10 off right now if you're somebody that does sublimation. Let me just turn y'all back that way. Okay. If you are watching this video, Tip Tuesday or Tip Tuesdays will get you 50% off of our Essentials of Silhouette Studio program. And with that program, you get 30 days of training, step by step. I do, we do, you do. You get access to a 13-week refresher, a 10-week review, and every single week after this is, not every single week. Every single month there will be a study hall session. But you can post in our student union. You get access to that. You can ask as many questions as you want. We don't limit the number of questions that you can ask in our group. So it will be the best investment because you will get lifetime help. Even as you advance, you can still ask questions and avoid some of those costly mistakes as long as you enroll in the program and you are in the student union. She's like, I always take the paid classes. And Jane says the paper is wonderful. Okay. So that right now with the code, you have to type it in Tip Tuesday or Tip Tuesdays, because I did it with it's both, just in case, you forget it as, put it as, whatever. They both will get you 50% off. We do have a buy now, pay later option. So if you want to break that up into payments, we do have a buy now, pay later option where it will break that up for you. If you are interested in rolls of sublimation paper or the tacky sublimation paper, the pre-order is open. Make sure that you click on it and read the fact that this is not a ready to ship. You will receive your items. You have to allow 8 to 10 weeks from the cutoff date because it has to be ordered. It has to be produced. It has to be shipped. They're in China. I'm in Florida. It has to get to me and then for us to ship to you. But it's a great price. It is a pre-order price for the 8.5 by 14, 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, 13 by 19. Normally this paper is double this. It's about $40, $45, $43, $36. So this is an amazing price for a pre-order. It is open until the end of the month. So whether you want tacky sheets, now our fast dry, our standard sheets, we have them available. They're in stock. You can order at any time. But some people wanted the tacky sheets, specifically the 13 by 19. The tacky sheets, there is a pre-order, is a Q3 pre-order, along with the rolls. So if you want to, when grad season comes around, you want to do grad stoles, you want to do ties, you want to do long stockings for Christmas time, you want to do rugs, you want to do all over shirts and not have to piece together 12 sheets of paper. You may only have to, piece together 3 strips or 4 strips. Get the roll paper. So that is on pre-order right now on the website. Just go in. You don't have to do anything, when it comes to putting in a code. The pre-order is there. Just have to allow the time frame. Our paper is $10 off all sizes right now. $10 off. There's no minimum, and we actually put that $10 off of everything. The 3 and 4 packs, even the cases. So if you love the paper, you're buying by the case, even the cases have $10 off. Okay. So that's everything. Our website is shop.hsinc365.com, or you can just go to www.hsinc365.com. All right. Links are always in the descriptions, in the link tree. They're there. All right. I don't do these often anymore. I will try every once in a while. Like I like Tip Tuesdays. I might try and do it a little bit more often for Tip Tuesdays where I have specific things, but the best way to get all of the gems, all of the tips is to get into one of our classes. If you can't swing that, we have our creative lounge. We have regular sessions and you can ask questions during those sessions. There's a lot of resources that's going to be opened up in the Creative Lounge. The Creative Lounge can be found on 365 Creative Academy. That is our Academy site. If you click where it says 365 login, it will take you right there. Okay. And we have the Creative Lounge. And the Creative Lounge, like I said, it is a great community to just be a part of, get real world experience and get a firsthand look at running a business if this is what you desire. So when I'm designing, so once you learn these tools and how they work, if you want to learn how to design and put all of these different tools together, how I design for a full party suite, they got to see me design a table number, a bookmark, and a water bottle label from the same elements, and how you have to adjust those and move those around. And the elements came from an invitation, and I actually showed the invitation a few weeks ago. So the Creative Lounge is a great place to be. It's $36.50 the first month, $25.63 each additional month after that. But what you gain, you can definitely make that back as long as you are applying it. And you're actually applying, you're putting actions to the things that you learn. All right. So until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. I'm about to go enjoy the debate. Peace.